Hello, everyone. It's Rebecca, the dietitian, and I'm so honored to have a special guest with me today. I have the fabulous, amazing Vicki Murphy here, and she is an intuitive energy coach. And I would love for you, Vicki, to explain to us what that is.
Perfect. Hi, and thank you so much for having me on. An intuitive energy coach is one that works with the energy of the body, mind, and soul. And I really am able to find hidden origins of stuck energy, things that are keeping us from creating what we want, whether it's love or money or that fabulous career. And the intuitive ability that I have helps me accelerate the process. You know, I'm a medical intuitive. I can see energy, and I have worked with lots of doctors and different people in a lot of different health positions. And it's really interesting to watch people when they are struggling and they're stuck, trying to find that origin, trying to figure it out. And yet they'll come in, and this is after sometimes years of counseling, they'll come in and one or two sessions, we've got it done. You know, it's really helpful to be able to see and to work dimensionally, if you will. And I do take people through kind of a channeled process of meditative healing. And it's really guided by our spiritual higher selves and our guides and our angelic realm. And it's very intuitive, the process, and it really does help accelerate the healing and release so people can get to the yummy part of life, you know, the fun part.
That's amazing. Sign me up. And
Yeah.
my people all know that I am a science nerd and I can't get enough. And most of my people probably think of me as a combination of Eastern and Western medicine. I want to say that I didn't grow up in a world that would have even accepted any of this as being real. And yet I've had these experiences in my life where I absolutely know this is true. You know, I worked with someone who, like you, who was very intuitive, and the things she came up with were just bonkers. We wouldn't have talked, you know, we shared an office and we maybe didn't talk for a few days, and she'd just come in with a special cup of tea for me and say, this is because of the family drama you're going through. And I'm like, how did you know? And she just knew, like, and she says, I asked her about it. I was curious. The science nerd in me was like, how do you know these things? And she said, it just shows up, and it's not for me, it's for you. And the things she would say I would send her clients, and she worked with people, and the things she would say, people would, you know, she might come up with something like, I know that you had chicken pox when you were 4, things they never told her. And it would be this block that was like, they didn't realize was actually stopping them in their whole life from this terrible experience they had. And so it's just, this is real. And it's so important to be able to get help with this, to have someone help you.
Yeah. And what a great story. And thank you so much for sharing that. I love that story. I grew up Catholic, and I also had a father that was very science-minded. He was part of the CIA. And so I had a great upbringing to prepare me for walking into this with a very open mind. I believed in many things unseen. You know, I have a very strong belief in God. I have a knowledge of quantum physics and dimensional energy. And as a matter of fact, my uncle, who did just pass away last year, was a colonel in Area 51. So I know that there really are other life forms out there. And so this is a very broad upbringing. Yeah, it really allowed me to expand and allow for this. And of course, that intuitive gift was not always easy. You know, it wasn't. But after working with, I've been in this industry now for almost 25 years. And I've seen extraordinary, miraculous results. I've seen, and I really do use it for healing. So I've seen tumors shrink to nothing. I work with a lot of cancer patients, and I'm not saying that's going to be the result for every single person, but there have been a lot of incidences of that. I have seen operable knees become healed and not need surgery. That was, again, corroborated by doctors and et cetera. But the most fun I have with this, and I do a lot of healing still, but the most fun I have with this whole ability is really helping people get happy, healthy, and whole and create their dreams in this life. And the reason that's so important to me is because when people come up in, I'm going to talk about vibrational frequency, the energy of the body. I'm an energy worker. When people come up to that happier place, they are affecting everyone around them. And as they hold that higher frequency vibration of happiness and health and love, they're modeling the behavior, right? Physically, they're showing people how to do it, but the energy actually goes out into the world and it spreads. And it continues to spread around the world. And I really believe that this is the answer to better health, which is something that I know that you're really interested and aligned with. And it's also helping us to come up to walk through our soul plan in the way that we intended. And that first part of our soul plan is to heal ourselves. And the second is to share back what we're learning and what we've healed to help other people. So very, very interesting field. And there's a lot of resistance in it because of some of the upbringings and not very much exposure. But you'll have a great appreciation of this. And being science nerds, there's a lot of science now that's coming into play and beautiful studies that are illustrating real tangible results of what I have seen for years and what I've seen results of. And, may have been a little difficult to explain, but now we're getting that backing. And I am a very tangible results girl. So I do teach people a lot of energy testing, and it's really fun because I'm kind of woo, 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 and it kind of takes one of the woos out, and they are able to use that energy testing in their lives as a tool for the rest of their lives to help gain insight and clarity and really to help themselves. So I do a lot of that kind of work, and manifesting and manifestation is my love. Absolutely love helping people create what they want here.
That is amazing. I love it. And I know that the science that I have seen is really super cool. And I'm so glad that it's coming around and that studies are being done on our energy and our auras and all these things that they can actually see in science. And so they're going to come around and start treating the body more holistically. And that is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everyone who knows me knows that I have had a weight struggle. And a lot of my clients we aren't blessed with the best metabolism, and we, are in constant state of temptation in the world that is not very conducive to healthy eating and nourishing our bodies. So I would love to hear how you might be able to work with someone on the weight management front.
And I work with a lot of people on this, in this area, and I call it weight alignment. And one of the things that I come to the table with is an understanding of your soul plan and what you are using your weight alignment or misalignment to learn. And when we get to the heart of that lesson and we can heal whatever's behind that, the reason you have put it in your soul plan, the weight comes back into alignment with ease. And I see that often. And so an example would be, I was working with somebody and we went way back in the meditative state of healing, which is what I use to help people gain access to different hidden frequencies, if you will, in their body, whether it's a memory, whether it's in this dimension, sometimes it's beyond, and it can be ancestral DNA that's been passed down, all kinds of very interesting discoveries when I go in and I look at somebody's energy. But in this instance, the source was in childhood, and it went all the way back to an early experience with a grandmother who was so brutal about this poor child's weight having to do with cookies. And there was a lot of punishment around the incident and a lot of trauma. And when we came out of the meditation, after we did our clearing work and our healing, it was very emotional. And my beautiful, I call all my clients my sisters, my beautiful sister said that she had completely forgotten about that, completely had forgotten. And it was a key piece to her aligning in a better, more healthy and positive way with her self-love. Because a lot of times weight is a way, yes, of protecting ourselves. It may also be a way of avoiding our greatness and not being seen and keeping us safe and secure in some manner, shape, or form. So, and I know this might be something that you can relate to as well. You know, we've all been there and we put different safety mechanisms in place. And so weight is really, if you look at it like that, you can baby it, you can love it, you know, and say, oh, I see what you're doing for me. And I see the false sense of safety and security that you're helping me create. And I understand why. And so it's a bit of that process that we go through. And it is emotional at times, but that's really what I do in my energy work to help people get back to a healthier place, back to a happier place. And it is a process, but boy, is it worth it. And you know, you've gone through your own processes to get there, and the outcome, the reward, the result is, it changes your life. You know, and it will affect other areas of your life too. It's going to change how you manifest a lot of things. It's a really important key way of loving yourself, and a place that I definitely love to see people try to heal, to get in deep. Because sometimes that hidden stuck energy, you can try 12 diets, you can exercise until you're blue in the face, you can do everything, and nothing's working. Nothing's working, and you don't know why. And that's what I specialize in. We find out why. What is it that is keeping you in this harmful pattern of the weight misalignment, you know, not being able to get into a comfortable place, a happy, healthier place?
I love that. And I'm talking to you, my clients, who I'm imagining my clients that, you know, they're doing well, but they might just perpetually sabotage. Just like, I'll do well, and then I don't know why, but I was just sitting there with a, you know, plate of cookies and I ate them all. Even though that's not anything about what my goals and what I'm after. And I hadn't even wanted them really. And there I was. Or, you know, just like what comes to mind is just rebellion, like that. Also that I call it my little 5-year-old that sits like sort of the angel and the devil, and mine is like a 5-year-old, the devil, and it's like having a tantrum, like, but I want to do that, you know. And like you said, kind of like acknowledging that and being okay with it, and sometimes even letting it happen and not punishing yourself afterwards. I had to do it on my own. And I would have really greatly benefited from someone like you helping guide me. So I probably wouldn't have taken 30 years.
Well, and right. And me too. I've done a lot of this discovery work on my own. And that's why I think we're both working in the profession that we are, trying to help other people accelerate their process so they don't have to go through, you know, 20 years of pain. And yeah. But I do a lot of inner child work. And I think that you just brought up a really good point. You know, I think it's important to engage our inner child, even if some of the woundedness didn't happen in the early stages or it happened elsewhere. We are becoming our own best parent and making a lot of choices about loving ourselves in a better and different way than maybe we received during our youth. And it can really make such a difference. And as far as like sitting down and eating cookies, yes, active rebellion for sure. But it's also about control. And we go in and we see why we're doing those things. We may understand on the surface what we're doing, but finding out why helps us really alleviate that pain point and get rid of it for good. So And very, very important to do that.
So I have a couple more questions for you. One that came up, and I know obviously a lot of what you do is really working with someone so that you can feel their energy, but do you have sort of a gross tip that you could give someone, some way they could start working on their own story?
Mm-hmm. Um, and just to talk about the energy, I work with people around the world remotely, right? And we work just like this on video and sometimes just on phone. Energy's energy. It's connecting all of us. The illusion is that we're separated. We're all connected and we're all here together, working together. And the tip that I think would be most important would be to find an origin of happiness, and whether it's in a memory or something that you love doing now. And in the morning when you get up, set your energy. So you're going to put your feet on the floor and you're going to say, I am now aligning with this beautiful energy of, for me, one of my favorite memories was swinging on a swing all by myself because it was peaceful. I had a lot of chaos around me, so it was my peaceful way of aligning with my energy. I could hear the creaking of the chain. I mean, really get into the detail of it and go back and allow, and even if it's something here now, you maybe want to go imagine sticking your toes in the sand or the edge of the ocean, and just really allow that feeling to infuse you, to run through your body. And I'll tell you, it's so important because you're giving your cells a signal to align to that softer, healthier, higher frequency energy. And you're setting that frequency up as your energy of intention for your day. And when you do that, you're going to start to align. If you do this every morning, you're going to start to get comfortable with that because it feels so good. It's so yummy. And let that be your new addiction. And then when you do this, you're going to become super conscious of when you're not in that energy. It really will become habitual to feel more comfortable in that elevated state of energy. And I think that that is something for everybody beyond weight. But if everybody could do that in the morning and really commit to that, I challenge you to do it for 7 days even, and see what happens, and see how conscious you become of when you're not in that energy, and especially around food, because you're coming into harmonious love of self that way. When you do those exercises in the morning like that, you're loving yourself. You're running beautiful energy through your body and you're loving yourself. So when you go to grab those cookies, it's going to feel a little different. You're going to say, you might have a little more energy of motivation to continue in that love path and loving yourself more than the cookies give you the control or the rebellious feeling. And you may not need that as much because that love comes from within. And you won't really care so much about what's happening in the outside world or rebelling against anybody in your outside world.
I love that tip. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people are going to want to take this to another level, and I know you're the perfect person to be with them in that journey, to dive deep and just really get to the heart of these matters so that you're free from them. It just sounds amazing. So how can they get in touch with you? How can they work with you?
Thank you so much. And I really am here to help everybody, and I really want to support everybody on their journey. And so you can, and I encourage you to do this, get in touch with me at www.westcoastmedium.com. And I would love to hear from you. And if you have heard us during this interview, I would like to offer you, all of your clients, Rebecca, a free 30-minute session to assess what they may be going through and what's really happening inside and behind the scenes. So I invite them to do that. Just when you click on the link below, and we will put it below, let me know that you've come through and you're one of Rebecca's friends, clients, sisters. And I would love to gift your clients in that way and to help support them on their journey. and to help support all the work that you're doing. What you're doing for them and the information that they're gaining from you is so important, and it's major. And if we clear the energy, they're going to be able to step more fully into your everything, the gifts that you're bringing and the gift to them and their soul.
I love that. Thank you. That is so generous and amazing. Thank you so much.
My
So
honor.
hope that y'all take her up on that. That is an amazing offer for a super valuable session with Vicki. And we will put the links below so that they can contact you. And I know there's something timely happening. You have an event coming up, right? Tell me about that.
Thanks. What is happening is, as I am reaching out into the community more and more, and I've been on the radio for 7 years, and I do reach into the community, but I'm really kind of pushing forward now. You know, the energy of the planet is changing, and I think that we really need to move toward love more and more. And one of the things that is coming up is my free talk on manifesting and why the law of attraction may not be working for you. There are very, very good reasons why that law really doesn't work. And I'm going to talk to people about why it might not be working for them and what I use. And so I'm going to be gifting people a free gift during that talk at the end, having to do with manifesting hacks. And for those of you that don't really know me, I went from being broke, divorced, an art career that I didn't know how I was going to make my living doing. And I left and went out into the world and created an amazing life. I have been married for over 19 years now to my soulmate. I have a lovely family. I've manifested coastal living, and I have a coaching program, and I teach people how to do this. And I have had people that have doubled, tripled, and quadrupled their incomes doing what they love. Amazing, crazy careers, everything from equine massage, if you can imagine, to working with the differently abled and creating programs for communication. So this is something that you have to do first, though. You have to love yourself all the way. So come and join me for that free talk and get your free manifestation hacks. It's going to be 5 hacks for manifesting.
I'm so excited. I'm going to bring my vision board and
yes.
Yay. Okay. And so how do they get on that event? Is that on Facebook?
You know, it is. I'm also sending out some notifications. So again, I'm going to send everybody to the website, and you're going to see on the events page that event for the free talk. Now, you don't be afraid. The free talk is free, and you're going to see that it's on a Saturday, and it's in person and live. I am also putting an online live segment, so we're going to do it just like this, so I can touch base with all of my clients that aren't right here in sunny Southern California. Okay. So look for that. I'm going to be talking about that. We'll be putting that link on there today. And also, feel free to just email me, and that's Vicki, V-I-C-K-I, at westcoastmedium.com. And that's always a great way to touch base, get in touch with me, talk to me about what your needs are, and I would love to work with you.
That's so generous and amazing, and I know your time is so valuable, so thank you for offering it. And I'll put all those links below, and I can't wait to see everyone at that event. It sounds amazing, and let's all learn how to manifest amazing things for our lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I'm so honored to be on your show and on your program, and to be standing next to you, working together to raise the frequency and help everybody get happier and healthier. So thank you.
Don't do what we did, the long, struggly journey. Just get some.
I know, right? Don't, yeah. Bye-bye. Thank you.